University of St. LaSalle College of Arts and Sciences Mathematics Department. This is the part 2 of our video under operations of functions. I cut it until the difference only, so we're going to continue the product and the quotient function here. So this is under our playlist of our Algebra 101 if you're following in the videos. Okay, so let's start with the product function. So product function, just recall that it's just f times g of x is equal to f of x equals g of x. That is, we're just multiplying the two functions and then we get the product function. Okay, multiplying this f of x times the g of x. So we're going to use the same given as before from our previous video. So given is equal to, given r, the f of x is equal to 3x, g of x equals x plus 1, h of x equals x squared minus 2. So we're going to find, number 1, f times g of x, and number 2, g times h of x. So let's start with our number 1, of course, f times g of x. So we will expect something like this, okay, since we're using the same variables here. So we're going to use the given from above. So we're going to copy 3 of x as in this position times g of x in this position. So this will give us first in this number. It's much better in practice to use the parentheses rather the raised dot, since in parentheses it's very clear if we're going to distribute, multiply using the FOIL method, and etc. etc. So it's much better to use the parentheses in practice. So in this position here, we can see that we could distribute this 3x to both of these numbers inside the binomial x plus 1. So if we're going to do that, 3x times x, so that's going to be 3x times 1x. So 3 times 1 multiplying the coefficients will give us 3. And we have x and x. So remember our law of product. Okay, if we're multiplying two variables, we're going to add exponents, correct? So this one has an exponent of 1. This one has an exponent of 1. So that becomes 3x squared. And then 3x times 1 is just the number itself by identity property of multiplication. So f times g of x is equal to 3x squared plus 3x. And that's our final answer. We cannot simplify anymore. Okay, so for number 2, so g times h of x. Again, g of x is this one. Okay, h of x is this one. So we're going to put them in a parentheses. Okay, so as we can see, this is g of x, x plus 1 times h of x, x squared minus 2. So we can see that they're both binomials. So remember, if we have binomials and we're multiplying them, we're going to use the FOIL method. That's it. That is the first, outer, inner, and then last. So we're going to multiply them in that order. So first, x times x squared. Again, laws of product and exponents. So we have x cubed. Outer, x times minus 2. That's going to be minus 2x. 1 times x squared, that's going to be x squared, and 1 times minus 2 is going to give us minus 2. So we have this notation. So again, x times x squared, x cubed, the first outer, x times minus 2, minus 2x, I inner, 1 times x squared, and L last, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. So we have that. Okay, so after this part, we need to add or simplify the function by combining like terms. So as we can see in this given, we have no like terms since these are x cubed, x squared, and the constant term. So we cannot combine them actually. Remember, like terms as we can only combine them if they have the same variable and the same degree. Okay, so these are the same variables, but they don't have the same degree, so we cannot combine them. So again, common practice also, when we're putting our answer in the final form, it's much better to put them in degrees which are in descending order. So that is, we're going to put the x cubed first, then the x squared, then the x, and then the constant term. And that will be our answer for number 2. Okay, hopefully you got it right. Let's go to the quotient function now. So that this is our last one. So quotient function. So f over g of x is equal to f of x over g of x. And then g of x must not be or never be equal to 0, since dividing any number by 0 is really not good. Okay, it will give us an undefined answer or an infinity. So we cannot do operations with infinities here. So given this function the same thing. What is f over g of x? Okay, so simple as it is, we're going to put the f as 3x and g of x as x minus 1. If we can simplify, we must simplify, but we can see that in this form, we cannot simplify anymore. So this will be our final answer. Most common mistake, seldom you cancel the x and the x here, which is a big wrong move, big mistake, of course. So we cannot simplify. We cannot just simply cancel a monomial and then just simply choose one part of this binomial term and then cancel it up. So that's a big mistake. So if we want to cancel things in fractions, it should be that they're factorized. Okay, these are not factorized. Okay, these are two terms. Okay, which is one part of the other. So we cannot just simply cancel the x. So that's a common mistake. Please don't do that. We can simplify if we factorize again. Okay, so we're ending in this video here. I'm just going to give you an exercise to do. We're going to give you a new set of examples, new set of rather functions, the value of the functions f of x equals 2x, g of x equals x plus 1, h of x equals x squared minus 1. So you're going to answer this 1 to 6. Okay, and then I'm going to show the solution video on the next part. Okay, so we're going to answer this in the next video. Okay, so get a pen and paper, try to answer that, and then that's it. Hopefully you get the operations and functions after these two sets of videos. Again, don't forget to like our Facebook page and like this video if you like it, and then subscribe. Thanks.